My name is Leo Myron, and I'm an 18-year-old guy on self-improvement from Stockholm, Sweden. I discovered the concept of NoFap back in 2022, November 2022 to be exact, and I struggled with it for over 2.5 years. I relapsed like multiple times a week for so long. It was super frustrating, and it was only this year in May that I managed to break free. And since then, I haven't even been close to fapping. The association between fapping, like the activity of fapping, the physical behavior, and the sexual urges, the thoughts in my mind, has been completely disconnected and broken. And this is the kind of transformation that I want to bring to the boys that are watching this content and that actually are willing to work towards it and that want to break free from this addiction once and for all. And one of the biggest things that I did to stop fapping was to implement what's called a timetable. So I used to always fap, for example, in the afternoon or in the evening or in the morning on weekends specifically. I would always fap when I had free time, when I had a block of time that I didn't know what to do with. I didn't have a workout planned with a friend, for example. I didn't have school. I didn't have some sort of like dinner. It was dinner at 7 p.m., for example. I didn't have any of those kinds of things, those set activities at specific times, usually when I fapped. I usually fapped when I didn't really know what to do. I knew in the back of my mind that I should do something disciplined, like go to the gym or work on my side hustle business thing, or do some homework or do some martial arts, whatever. But it was always at these times that I would get caught by the urges. I would, for example, come home from school and I knew that I was supposed to go to the gym in the evening, but I had this space of dead time after I came home at like 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And I was just so sluggish, I was so lethargic. I just come home from school, so I'd expended all of my fucking energy in school that day. And so I was super tired when I came home. I had also accumulated a bunch of like sexual thoughts and a bunch of urges because there were a bunch of like hot girls in my school and stuff. And when you're in class and it's fucking boring as shit, you know, because what the teacher's talking about, like I don't give a shit about it. And I didn't back then either. The only real stimulating thing that you can think about in your vicinity are the females, right? And so I would sort of accumulate all these urges, these sexual thoughts as the day went on, along with this fatigue. And so when I'd come home, I would just lay on the couch, basically, get some fucking comfort food and start scrolling on my phone or some shit like that. And the urges would just come in like a fucking barrage and I would collapse, I would relapse. I'd go to the fucking toilet and start jacking my fucking dick off, right? And afterwards, when the post-nut clarity arrived, I was absolutely and utterly ashamed of myself. It was embarrassing, it was disgusting. I knew that this habit was fucking like so vile, and I knew that I looked like a fucking monkey if I were to watch myself from a third-person perspective. And this kept on happening for a long time, specifically in these sort of dead time, like free time blocks of time in my day. And so I implemented what's called a timetable. A timetable is kind of like a set routine, but not for like a morning routine or nighttime routine, but a routine for your entire day. Like you decide what you're gonna do at every point in your day, like every single hour of every day beforehand, so that you don't even have to make the decision of whether or not to do the discipline thing or whether or not to fap, right? A timetable is something that has been implemented ubiquitously across multiple like large establishments and domains, like school, for example, the military. Like you can probably imagine that in the military, if you haven't been there, I haven't either, but I can imagine it and I've heard it, that they wake up at a set fucking time. You're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and then you're gonna hop in the fucking freezing cold lake. You're gonna pick up a boulder and then you're gonna crush the ice on the lake and you're gonna hop in the lake, right? You're gonna swim under the ice for 2 hours. Then you're gonna come up and you're gonna march with your fellow soldiers. I don't know what kind of sounds they make, but you could probably imagine that they had like a set routine that they're gonna employ or deploy or do every single day. And with it's the same thing in school. You are ascribed a routine, a timetable, a calendar by your teachers. You're gonna have English at 9 a.m. You're gonna have social studies at 10. You're gonna have maths at 11. You're gonna have lunch at 12. You're gonna have natural sciences at 1, whatever. And I'm not very keen on, like, I don't really like school, and I don't really like the military either. Like, I wouldn't want to be in the military at all. Like, I don't see the point of me doing that. But I do acknowledge the fact that these systems have been implemented for a reason, and that reason is very simple. A timetable fundamentally increases productivity across pretty much whatever domain we're talking about. And the big reason is that when you have a timetable, when you have a set routine and you know what you're going to do at every given point of the day, you don't have to make the decision of whether or not to do the disciplined thing or do the degenerate thing. Because it's like, there's a verse, some sort of, what's it called, like a proverb in the Bible that says that idle hands are the devil's workshop, which basically means that when we don't have a task at hand, when we don't really know what to do, when we don't have anything productive to do, then it's so much easier just to sort of let the degeneracy seep in and sort of get lost in that world, and let the demonic forces infiltrate our minds and ultimately conquer it, which we want to avoid at all costs, of course. And so what I did was that I extended my timetable from just school, because obviously I had a timetable for school, but I went into Google Calendar and made an entire timetable a routine for my entire day, right? So I'd wake up at 7, I'd go up, I'd brush my teeth, I'd hop in the cold shower, then I'd do some meditation, then I would get ready, I'd get my clothes on and make my bed, and then I'd go to school. I'd be in school, I'd talk to some people there, eat some food, study a little bit, come home. I would eat when I came home. I would go to the gym, I'd do some weightlifting, then I might do another session, I might do some martial arts, for example. Some boxing, some kickboxing, some MMA, these kinds of things. I done that I did martial arts for about 1.5, 2 years. I haven't done it in the last 6 months because I really wanted to focus on my bulk, my gym progress. And since then I bulked up from like fucking 75 kg to like 84 kg, which is like 165 to 185 roughly. So a bit of progress there. But yeah, I did martial arts for a long time. And then I would, for example, come home, I would eat a little bit more. Then I would do my nighttime routine. I would, for example, read a little bit. I would read a chapter of a book from the book series that I've read since 5th grade. It's called Warriors. I really like it. It's a fiction book series, or at least that's what they call it. That's what they say, right? But that's a discussion for another day. And I would hop in the shower, I'd brush my teeth. I would get into this sort of peaceful mode. I would do some meditation, I'd do some journaling to sort of calm my mind down. And then I would go to bed. And if I done everything correctly, then I would be able to, first of all, mitigate the urges that come. Like I would be able to block out a lot of the potential temptations and urges that could potentially enter my mind because of the fact that I really sort of went into this peaceful, calm mode through reading and listening to some nice calm music, some lo-fi music, some low fidelity, lo-fi music, and like meditating and journaling and stuff, not scrolling on my phone or anything like that. And that would be extremely effective for preventing fapping for me. And it was only really when I came off my routine that I would relapse. That when I would, for example, just slip up and be undisciplined and just randomly go off my routine, just not go to the gym because I was a little bit tired and procrastinate upon it. Or for example, I would wake up late on a weekend, I would snooze, and then I would just lay in bed and basically do what would you call it? I would just fantasize about fucking sex, right? Because as a full-fledged teenager, I had, and I still do, have fucking morning titaniums very frequently. And so it was a very reoccurring phenomenon for me that I would wake up on a weekend, I would be fucking tired. Because when you're a teenager, you want to sleep, right? You don't necessarily want to have a set wake up time. If we're talking about this stuff from a biological standpoint, you just want to let your body keep sleeping for as long as possible, because you're developing your body and everything, your mind. And I would just snooze my alarm a bunch of times, and I would keep laying in bed, and I would just have this massive fucking temptation and urge inside of me to just go fap. And sometimes I did it in bed, sometimes I went fucking to the toilet and shit. And yeah, that happened a lot. But when I stuck to my fucking timetable, when I just stuck to my routines and just obsessed over this one huge daily habit, this huge daily routine, that was when I really was consistent in NoFap and got consistent results. And I've been like dialed in on that shit since like May this year, for example. And yeah, it's one of the best things that I would prescribe anyone that's on this path, that is fighting these urges on a daily basis and really want to sort of just conquer this addiction once and for all and get it over with. And so yeah, man, if you feel that this is something that could work for you, which I definitely do think if you watch this entire video, you can go into Google Calendar or like a note-taking app and write down what you're going to do for each hour of the day and just try to follow it the best as you can. And if you want like a full-fledged like free protocol, like a course on NoFap that I've made that I really think is fucking amazing, I put all the gems that I used to sort of overcome this issue in it. And you also want to act as like a free community of guys on the same path as you, to find accountability partners and that kind of stuff. I've made like a free school community. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a Discord server, but on steroids. Like it's way more classy and stuff. And yeah, I really like it. It's like an educational platform. And I've made one. It's completely free. You can join by the link in the description. And I hope to see you inside, bro.